We designed this garden 3.5 years ago, and one of the client's main brief was to have a coastal garden, as the garden is located with the beach just like 100 metres that way. So they didn't want to completely recreate a beach, but they wanted sort of coastal elements. Groins here, which you find on the beach everywhere, which is actually a water feature. Another element of the garden that we designed is this sunken fire pit, which is fantastic for entertaining.
One of the fantastic things about having a sunken area in your garden, particularly like this sunken fire pit when you're entertaining or whatever, is this view it can give. And I mean, it's a totally different perspective to what you'd normally get if you're standing up and looking down on things. You're actually down with the plants. So it feels really, really, you're like immersed in this like world of plants. This is one of my favourite areas of the garden for this garden, and it was great fun designing. It's like a bespoke water feature. The client wanted something a little bit different as a water feature and not. So we grabbed these sea groins, which the Environment Agency was selling as they were taking the beach down. And it was just great because you get these rusty bits of nail in, you get this real full effect. And then we sort of created it into a water feature. So we drilled up through it and put hoses in and pumps underneath, and you end up with this really nice trickling water effect. And that, I mean, that's all it does, but it's enough just to give you that sound. And it's just a really smart feature rather than, you know, lots of noise or a waterfall that you don't really need in a garden like this. The planting in this garden, we wanted to get as much in that was natural coastal planting, whilst at the same time giving colour, real seasonal interest. And I think that's one of the best things about this garden is the seasonal interest. We've got teucriums, we've got callistemons, we've got pinus, and we've got some pittosporums, which give us a real good structure through the winter. And then through the summer season, some delightful colour comes into the garden with your thymes. At the moment, currently, we have crocosmia flowering, the classic verbena, and even we've got our teucrium flowering here. We try to get as much of the coastal influence into the garden, whilst at the same time putting some extra plants in that harmoniously balance with those coastal plants. Now, I don't know if you guys regularly go for walks along the beach, or particularly at Dungeness and these sort of natural planted coastal areas. Well, one thing we wanted to create here was not just paths that just shingle paths. We wanted to create a shingle path with a bit of nature in it and a bit of sort of really good feeling about it. So we've put some very small stone down here, and we've mixed in the creeping thymes. We've even got some lovely sea campion that you find down at Dungeness, and it's quite a rare little plant, but it's a gorgeous plant. Keep deadhead in it, keeps flowering all summer. We've got Erigieron, it's a favourite, and we've got some phlox as well. So this sort of all mingles in with the sedum and other plants to create these narrow forming sort of pathways of shingle. It's been great coming back to this garden. I mean, it's a long time since we designed it, and it's really, really nice meeting the clients and seeing how happy they are with how it's turned out, and it's still going on. This is a proper lived-in garden now, and it's been used for a significant amount of time, and it's lovely to see it developing and them developing with the garden. It's lovely with the clients, Glenn and Pauline here, just to have a little quick chat about how gardens developed and what's become, I guess, your favourite bit. So what would you say was the favourite element of the garden over the past, well, it's been years, it feels like
3.5 years.
3.5 years,
Yeah.
4 years. So what's been your sort of...
I don't think there's any particular favourite. I think it's just the overall effect.
Oh, I love the colour.
You like the colours?
Yeah, in the spring there was just so much more colour, more different, and now suddenly the summer. Yeah,
It's all grown in and taken shape. It looks like it's a lived-in garden now, doesn't it?
but what's particularly nice is when you're in the pit and you look out and you've got a different view of the garden. So you're looking at all the flowers at the bottom on the floor, and it just gives a lovely picture.
Yeah, and what I think was nice, or looks really good as well, is the paths all sort of still blend in nicely, and the plants
Yeah.
sort of work
Yeah, all the
around
sedums and all
Yeah.
the
the
tiles all just
sedum
grown
and
in,
all
yeah.
that, and it's all sort of like, and I think the fence doesn't. It's all closed off now as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sort of
The
feels
climbers have really done well. They've really enclosed it.
shot around. So
And also, when we're looking down aerial view, so it's sort of, you've got the aerial view looking down and you can see all the pathways.
Yeah,
and
lovely.
and then from there looking up, and then obviously when you're walking around, so
Yeah.
there's lots of elements that in a small garden that
yeah,
it's
no,
achieved.
and it's still
Yeah,
inviting when
nice.
you look down from
Yeah,
upstairs, because that was the
yeah.
thing, wasn't it? You
Yeah.
looking down from upstairs, you want to come down and
Yeah,
use
no,
the garden.
it is.
Yeah, and the colours have changed. Say in the spring you had all the ceanosis out all along the walls.
Yeah.
Brilliant, great. Well, thank you very much for letting us come and
Pleasure.
look.
That's
Thank
okay.
you.